Welcome to week 2. Let's work on our second project. This week, we're really just going to focus on learning about some advanced modeling tools. Um, we are going to build a project where we're going to be modeling a multi-story building using a primitive cube and deforming it with some modeling tools. Whereas we were mainly building our temple by editing the faces, vertices, and edges of the polygon, here we'll be using some mesh tools to extrude, insert edge loops, and other advanced modeling techniques like that. All right, so first things first, I did set up my project folder. I do have my scene here saved, and I can show that to you right here. Let's go to our course file. Project 2, scenes, first save right there. All right, let's go back to mine. So, project 2, we are going to be building a basic structure. Let's start with a cube. Okay, I have my cube right here. It's in the middle of my scene, and I want to move my pivot here down to the bottom of this cube. Why would I do that? Well, it's just really for cleanliness, to make sure we're modeling on the ground plane and on the 0 on the coordinates. It's to really help us mentally know that anything above 0 on the y-axis is above ground, anything below is below ground. So let's go to front view. I'm going to take a look at my cube here. I have my cube selected, and I'm going to press D to go into edit pivot mode. So you can tell we're in edit pivot mode. I'm holding D, and I'm also going to hold V. Now I'm holding both. V is snap to pivot mode. So holding both D and V, I'm going to click my y-axis right here, and I'm just going to drag my pivot down to the bottom of my cube and release. So we just moved the pivot from the dead center down to the bottom. And now I'm going to hold X to snap this cube to the grid while I'm repositioning it. There we go. So that should have just snapped right back down to the ground plane. Let's take a look at that. Good. Now we're just sitting right on top of the ground plane, which is what I wanted to see. Okay. Let's scale this cube. This is going to be the base of our basic structure here, our little skyscraper that we're going to make. Let's scale it. Let's go over to the channel box on the right, and under Scale X, I'm going to put in an input of 5. Scale Y, let's do 10. And Scale Z, let's do 5 again. Hit Enter. All right, so we kind of have this rectangle shape. It's looking a little bit more like a skyscraper, a really basic one, which is great. This is where we want to be. Now, let's go down to the inputs box in the channel box over here and check out the construction history of our polycube. I'm going to open this up a bit. All right, so now let's add some subdivisions so that we have more to work with to make details on our building, because right now we just have some really large faces and we can't really do much with that. So let's subdivide this polygon. In subdivision width, I'm going to put 5 again. Subdivision height, let's do 10. Subdivision depth, let's do 5. And hit Enter. Now we have some really evenly spaced quads. Okay, really quickly, let's talk about quads. What are quads? Well, I'm going to temporarily hide this building that we have here by holding Control H on my keyboard. That's hidden it. You can tell it's not gone. It's actually still just here. And if I hold Shift H, I can bring it back. Not that one, this one right here. Shift H. It's now unhidden. To hide it again, I'm going to do Control H. There we go. So I just have it hidden because I want to show what a quad is. So I'm going to come up to our poly modeling shelf, and I'm going to bring down a cube. Let me lift this up. Okay. So a quad. Now, a quad is a polygon that is made up of faces that have 4 sides, a face with 4 edges. So if I hold right click or right mouse button and I go to face mode, here's our face. If I do it again and go to edge, you can see that this one face in the middle here has 1, 2, 3, 4 edges. So this is a quad because it has 4 edges around one face. Now, what are some of the other names for different types of polygons? So we have the quad, which has the 4 edges, and we have triangles and n-gons. And let me show you an example of both. So I'm going to bring out a cylinder, and I am just going to rotate this cylinder so that we're looking at some faces that are triangles. Let's go to face mode. So we have some faces right here, and these are all triangles. And you can tell because if I go to edge mode, we have 1, 2, 3 edges. So this is not a quad, this is a triangle. For an n-gon just means that it is a face with more than 4 sides. So if I bring out another cube and I just drag it over here, there we go. I can use a certain tool called the multi-cut tool. And this multi-cut tool just allows me to cut some more edges. And this is just to illustrate what an n-gon is. So I'm making some cuts here, and I'm hitting enter. Okay, so if I go to face mode, we do have a face right here. Let me actually go back to transform. We do have a face right here, and this face just looks like a normal face, but it actually has more than 4 edges. So if I go to edge mode, we can count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this face right here has more than 4 edges. It is now an n-gon. So those are the 3 forms of a polygon we have. We have quads, we have triangles, and we have n-gons. Now, why are quads preferred when it comes to modeling? Well, there are some general reasons. The first reason is because it creates even topology. And I haven't used the word topology yet, so let me explain what that is. Topology just describes how vertices, edges, and faces are arranged in a polygon mesh. It's the defining structure of a polygon. So this right here, we are looking at the topology of this polygon. And when it comes to quads, they just create a more uniform mesh, which is easier to work with for tasks like adding subdivisions to a polygon. Another reason why we prefer quads is because when rigging or animating a character, quads tend to deform more smoothly and predictably than triangles or n-gons. And lastly, we do it for UV mapping. And UV mapping is just when we're texturing an object. It just simplifies the process of creating UV maps, which is really important because that defines how textures are applied to your polygon. So those are the 3 types of polygons that there are, and we just prefer quads. We're always trying to make faces with 4 edges. Let me delete these, and let's increment and save right here. But first, let me bring back our structure by just hitting Shift-H on the keyboard. Awesome. All right, now let's move on to the first floor. Typically, the first level of a building is 2 stories, so let's mimic that. Let's go to edge mode, and I am just going to select this edge here, hold Shift, and double-click the edge next to it to select the entire edge loop. Awesome, we got everything selected, and I'm going to do to this one the same to the one right above it. There we go. So I want to delete these. But the issue is if I just hit delete on my keyboard, it will get rid of the edge loops. However, it does not get rid of the vertices that are associated with that edge loop. So if I was to just hit delete, if we take a look, the vertices are actually still there. And they're just kind of free floating. They're not really doing anything. They're not attached to any more edges than just the one that they were originally on. And so it's just extra junk we don't want there. So just deleting the edge loops, not going to work. So let's undo and bring those edge loops back. Now, what we can do is we can go up to Edit Mesh in our toolbar here, and we can go down to Delete Edge/Vertex. Let's see what happens. All right, so it deleted those edges, but the awesome thing is it got rid of those extra vertices too. And if we actually go into edge mode, we have a full edge. I'm going to go back to object mode here, and I'm going to go up to File, Increment, and Save. Let's take a break and come back.